Fear not, for you are found. You are home, and there is no going back. No one leaves this place. But what is this place? The answer is Tux Nation. Surrounded by a strong, positive community, Tux Nation lives on the edge of the known and unknown. It is the collection point for all gamers searching to be part of something greater, like you. And here you are significant. You are valuable. Here you are loved. And no one loves you more than the TuxedoBandido. He is the original, the first player one, the creator of the Players Club and the father of the Bandidos. Where once you were Han Solo, now you are part of something. You are part of the Bandidos. Congratulations. You will meet the TuxedoBandido in 5 seconds. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. You are now meeting the TuxedoBandido.
Bandidos, welcome back to another live stream. It's Saturday night. And are you sick of those striker builds that are to your left and to your right? Well, good news for you, because we are focusing on Heartbreaker today. Oh boy! What up, Bandidos, and welcome back. Hope you are having a beautiful weekend, and let's close out the Saturday night with a beautiful stream full of Bandidos. Yeah, so we had a really good stream last night. We threw it all in there, didn't we? So we started off with reanimated and shotguns, and we went through the full gambit of shotguns, and I was having a blast. Hopefully you guys picked up something new there, like the Super 90 with the scope for reanimated. So much fun. And the Calibre, do not sleep on that bad boy. What a good gun. And for me, I think I'm falling more and more in love with it because it allows you to play more versatile and integrate multiple weapons, because you can swap from the Calibre without losing something like a pummel buff. So really cool setup. I hope you get a chance to check out last night's stream. And if you also stick around towards the second half, you'll see that we ran the Incursion. And what did we give away? 3 or 4, something like that, Ouroboros last night. So it was a very successful night, and we were averaging about 27 minutes per run, including new players. So yeah, that's good. It was very casual, very fun, had a really good time. And tonight, so yeah, we are also going to be looking at something different, because I know you guys are seeing so many striker builds out there. And so off meta, here we go. And I got some new builds for you coming out this week, and we're gonna be even taking the meta and turning it into off meta. So all sorts of exciting things to come your way this following week, so that you can use your new weapons. And so let's go ahead and start putting something together here. Now, what we're gonna do is just take kind of a run of the mill type Heartbreaker build. That's just where we're gonna start. All right, so we're just gonna start with that. And then we're gonna equip some of our new weapons that we received and new talents that we received, see how they feel with the Heartbreaker setup, and then go from there as far as further tailoring the build to, one, its objective, and 2, the new weapons and talents that we received. So I am gonna load this up. Obviously we're gonna run a 4-piece to get going. We could run the Catharsis with this. We don't really need the Coyote. We could stick with the Coyote. We're gonna be I can probably start with the Ouroboros here, and then also be using the Born Great, or whatever. But the Catharsis isn't a good option here if we decide to, especially if we decide to run a shield. But a chill out mask could also be cool. Pick up some more armor, and at the same time protection from leets, so we can go that way. Lots of ways to go with Heartbreaker. And actually, before we get too deep, let me explain what Heartbreaker does. For one, if you're a new player, listen up, because Heartbreaker is the #1 gear set that I recommend to new players, even over Striker. And so I know as a new player, you're seeing lots of Striker, and Striker's great. It does what it does, but Heartbreaker does the same thing it just adds on a layer of defense for you as well. It's already built in there. Something we tend to add to a lot of our striker builds is already built into Heartbreaker. And so we'll take a look at some DPS figures and stuff like that in a little while, but it starts with assault rifle damage, and then you get weapon handling. So very similar to what Striker does, right? So except Striker does weapon handling and then RPMs. So, you know, this is additive damage, and RPMs is technically considered a multiplier. So it's a little bit better to go the RPM side. But what if you don't want RPMs? Get it? And so sometimes you don't, because if you got a weapon that's really stable, RPMs can make it a little less stable. Then you got a Heartstopper. And so this is going to give you 1% bonus armor and 1% damage to pulse targets, and the set pulses targets. So there's like a pulse built in with headshots, or you can bring a pulse along with you. And so when you wear the chest piece, so there's 50 stacks built into that. And when you wear the chest piece, it's going to push those stacks to 100. So that's 100 stacks of damage, just like Striker, and then 100 stacks of bonus armor. So it's not as strong as Striker because it's giving you bonus armor. And so it's a different type of damage because of that. So keep that in mind, okay? And so, but it's still strong. And in the end, when you structure it just like a Striker build, let's say you were gonna go all red crits, and then you got an all red Striker in crits. If you do DPS checks, it's not that far behind from Striker, but yet it gives you bonus armor as well. But obviously if you take away a lot of your armor, you're only gonna get it's not gonna be as fancy on the bonus armor tip. So for the backside, we get the cold, it's called, but it's gonna double your bonus armor. And this is where things get really interesting with this gear set. And that's 200% bonus armor. It's absolutely insane when you're running it with the chest piece. A really good combo. And then you got some room to do different things. You can run the backpack, or you can run the memento and get 2 different kinds of bonus armor. So bonus armor from Heartbreaker, and then a separate bonus armor on kill from the memento or bloodsucker if you want to. Or you can run a different chest piece. You can run the spotter chest piece, or even the Intimidate chest piece, and proc damage from your bonus armor. But I really like the chest piece here. I don't always run it. Intimidate could be a good option, and I've had fun with Intimidate here on this set. Maybe we'll try that, but lots of different things you could do with this. But it's a very straightforward build, and it's powerful on both the offense and defense side. You're basically a tank DPS, and that's a really nice way to play if you're a new player. And so, especially for new players going into countdown a lot, I basically have a standard countdown build because it's not too, it's pretty, I don't know, Groundhog Day in there, I guess. And so I don't get super innovative anymore in countdown. I used to when they first came out. Then you start to realize, well, wait a second, it doesn't matter what you wear in there. You know what I mean? You got 7 other players with you, and you're all shooting at the same target, basically. So it's just, you just need to go in there with enough damage where it's not too miserable shooting at a target when you're isolated. So you do need good damage in there, but also good defense so that you can run out of cover the whole time. And so that's what Heartbreaker provides. It's a tank DPS. So we'll start up this way. There's also the Night Watcher mask we can add to this if we decide that the headshots aren't going to happen. So what I'm going to try to do is, this is a test in this first one. So I'm going to first, which is why I'm running to Ouroboros. So the Ouroboros, we decided, does a really good job stacking. And so what it did, well, we realized the best use case for Ouroboros is the Striker chest piece, really. And because that's sort of its unique thing, is it's stacking. You know, yes, it's got the best DPS in the game at 15 meters, right? Keep that in mind. So, but it does a really good job stacking at 15 meters, and it unlocks the chest piece for Striker. And for me, that is the best use case for the Ouroboros so far, but so much more to learn about this gun and where we can apply it elsewhere. Obviously, it's going to be strong on basically any build as long as you can play within 15 meters, right? So I figure if it's good at stacking Striker, maybe it's really good at stacking Heartbreaker. But this one requires headshots, which is a tinier target. But since we're at 15 meters and with a bigger bag and a higher RPM, maybe, I don't know. So let's give that a try, and we're not gonna run a pulse. And I'm not gonna run Technician, and I'm probably not gonna run a shotgun either. So we're just gonna give this a try, see if this works, and if it doesn't, then we're gonna adjust. So let's see what our crits are at here. So we're at 47, 103, so we need to load up a little bit. So we'll put some crit chance there. We'll want to push this all, want to push this all the way to max here, and then so I'll put that there, and then that should push us to max 59. Good. And then we'll put crit damage here. Cool. And so stats wise, we should be crit chance, crit damage everywhere. Yeah, cool. Okay. And so the mask is going to bring in 30% weapon damage. So it stacks as you take damage. And so it also purges a heal, which will be nice. Now, there's a good chance I'm going to outrun the heal and then decide I don't like it. So keep that in mind. But if it does work, then cool. And so we could also just run a standard fixer because we're not going to have any armor regen or armor on kill. So a standard fixer underneath the bonus armor tends to work. So we'll give that a try. And let's go see how it works. Let's just get this thing rolling and then we'll modify from there. So we got Golan, got Wyvern, Araldi. I'll go this way, I guess. Oh yeah, the Iron Lung is so good. How did we end up running it, guys? That Iron Lung was really nice. We came up with a couple of builds for the Iron Lung. I think I still have them saved. My loadouts. Yeah, so that's... I think I saved over it. That one. Here's one of them, though. 3-piece Umbra. But I think we did is a 4-piece Striker. And then we ran braced on the chest in the contractor's gloves. A perfect braced. So the Ved chest. The perfect braced chest. Which is a Petrov chest. Which is perfect because it's an LMG. And then we ran the contractor's gloves for more weapon handling. So the reload is horrible. So if you don't account for the reload, you're not going to have very much fun with it. So you have to. You do. I mean, it's a 5-second reload. So if you don't, and it's a small mag, it's only got 85 rounds. So if you don't account for the reload, I bet you're not going to like the weapon. And so, but if you account for the reload, you're going to realize how amazing of a weapon is. So, you know. Oops. Damn. Oh, we're on normal still. We got to fix that. It's from yesterday. All right, let's fix that. I was like, he died too easy. Change that. James. James, you're looking platinum. Mighty fine in that platinum skull you got there, James. Damn, James. Not too many people got that platinum skull. Favorite candy for Halloween? You know, I am a peanut butter guy, peanut butter cup guy. IQ Prime, thanks for joining the club, bro. Appreciate you, bro. And by the way, be sure that you go to my channel and check out the members playlist so you can see all the builds that we've created over time that are just sitting there waiting for you to use. So at the top of my channel, there's a members playlist there, my YouTube channel. So I'm a peanut butter guy. It's a classic, you know, peanut butter cup guy. You know, even off holiday, you know, I go to Dairy Queen and get my peanut butter cup Blizzard or whatever. But for Halloween, my favorite candy? Gosh, I don't know. They're always the same. But probably like the Baby Ruth, just because it's something I don't normally go for, like at the store. I don't even know if you can find them at the store anymore. But nothing better than a good old Baby Ruth or a Snickers. But have you guys noticed, like, there's no real innovative candy for Halloween? It's always the same shit. It's, I swear, it's the industry's dominated, right? I think it's like mafia controlled. I mean, it's either that or I would say my favorite is probably the toothpaste. I love getting toothpaste for Halloween. So, yeah. See the bonus armor? It's insane. So what we're gonna want to be monitoring is the stacking and how well we're able to maintain those stacks. That's gonna be the measure of whether this setup works without a pulse. And if we don't feel like we're very successful, then we're gonna have to add the pulse. A little out of my depth right there. So if you get the headshot, it pulses them for 5 seconds. Come on, come out, dude. What's up? Come here. So it's interesting because you're not really concerned about killing, you're concerned about stacking. It's kind of an interesting way to play. I don't know if I really like it. You know what I mean? Because you're really focused on stacking. It seems to be like more important than killing because the stacks are going to go beyond that kill. And you're looking for that enduring damage, right? For when the bigger, scarier situations come at you. So that's why you don't just want to kill. So even though I can just blast this guy with body shots, I really am concerned about getting those headshots in so I can get that pulse and then get my stacks so that I'm playing at my full potential. And so it makes you have to be real conscious about those headshots. And on an SMG, it's a little tough. I mean, in like the incursion, it's not because you got these big old fat targets, you know. But and these little guys just got their heads are just so small. Their heads are smaller. But I think we did pretty good. We got max stacks and we looked like we maintained about 75, and probably most of that is because they died so quick. You know. Yeah, so I think we're doing all right. So far, so good. The Ouroboros is my point, is it's helping. And we could always use a shotgun without penalties, right? Oh, did the game just break? We just broke the game. Damn it. Damn you, game. Damn you. Skeletor. Skelly Skill. Yeah, I like Jolly Ranchers. Also, I love Laffy Taffy. Love Laffy. I love Nerds. Oh, I'm a Nerds freak. Love Nerds. Grape Nerds. The strawberry grape combo is for me. Too much awesome. Yes, maybe. It's like, you're not wearing a striker build? Crash. What up, VJ? Dragon. So if you have a hard time with headshots, with a weapon that's so rapid, because it can be challenging, right? Because it's basically, you know, we talk about what makes a good SMG build, like from like a fundamental perspective, and it's really that you can delete enemies really fast, shooting center mass. And it's important because It's kind of like how determined works. Like we like determined because it allows us to acquiring targets is faster. And that's the same thing with shooting for the body instead of the head, is that you're acquiring your targets faster. And so, which is going to turn out to be, oh, what the fuck? They came out of nowhere. Hold on. God damn it. And so, it's going to turn into higher survivability, which is important because to acquire your targets faster, because you're playing in the kill box and there's a lot of enemies right there in your face. It's weird that it loaded us right in the same spot, isn't it? I mean, why didn't it put me in a safe house? Look at that bonus armor. Juice! I got juice. What do you got, bro? And so what's also cool about this set is there's no armor on kill. I mean, no on kill requirements. It's all on hit. Come here, you little fuck. And then if you need to rotate to your shotgun to build up your stacks, you can, because nice delay game. You don't have a talent buff that you would lose or be penalized for doing that. This guy's got a very strong helmet, by the way. So don't feel pressured to stick with your SMG, because you could just do this. And it's really easy to land those headshots and then switch back and, you know, and then it'll be easier to maintain your stacks. You just do that every now and again, not always. Oops, fuck. Our shields are so weak. Dumb. Oh, his ammo. Oh, his ammo. Look at that heal, though. I'll take it. And that's why we run a little Catharsis Mask. It kicks in from time to time. I mean, there's better options for how... Oh, my God. Come on. I'm wearing a shield. He sucks. He sucks. Oh, my God. Thank you for the shock ammo, though. It doesn't kick in. That's not helpful very often, like what I saw there. All right. So we did get the purge twice, so that's nice right there. Because you could argue that the Catharsis Mask isn't that helpful because we're always on the move and we move really fast. So sometimes what happens is it'll drop the heal and you kind of outrun it, but you are getting damage stacks. But with the distances we're playing, we could also use the Coyote and take that 25% crit damage. We could also just run the Fox's knee pads or put on more protection from elites. Lots of things to do here. Candy cigs, I miss candy cigs. Those were great. You could huff and puff them. So bad if you think about it though, right? So bad. Candy cigs. Yeah, unbreakable. Anyway, so far I think it feels good and it makes sense. Especially if you rotate your shotgun in, maybe like once or twice in a control point. And again, you're not being penalized for doing that. And what I mean by penalized is like if you're running, let's say, the Dark Winter, right? And so the Dark Winter comes with a talent called Perfect Killer. And on kill, it gives you, what is it, 50% crit damage, which is great. The problem is it's got a timer, which is 10 seconds. And so if you, so that you can't pulse that thing, unfortunately, that sucks. So we'll just bail. So if you switch weapons while it's active, you lose it. You lose it, and that's what I mean by penalized for switching weapons. And so some weapons, you get penalized, and it's a one weapon build strategy when you run things like that. But weapons like the King Breaker that are just on, they're just active, right? You switch to it, it's just active because the pulse is automated. Usually you're running the laser pointer. Or things like Obliterate or something like that, they're just active, you know? And sometimes there's scaling involved or whatever, but anyways, and so what we got here is I'm just using the lefty for stacks, but the Ouroboros doesn't penalize you for switching. It's just a DPS weapon, you know? Now, the reality is that you're actually penalized with the St. Elmo's. So even if you have shock ammo, the St. Elmo's is going to sorry, I had to think about this guy flanking me for a second. The St. Elmo's is gonna take away whatever stacks you have earned, because you can still earn stacks in between when you acquired your shock ammo and your reload, the next reload, because it doesn't activate until the reload. All right. Grenade. So our stacks are a little low right now, mostly because I'm not playing in optimal range, I think. We got this guy at that distance there wailing on me. Now my shield's broken. Oh, that guy. Finally he came in. Yeah, there's that guy wailing at me from distance. And that's the problem with the SMG, right? Like, it just don't really have that shot. And so I either have to hide from him or go out there and get him, but you got like 3 or 4 other enemies there. And that's what keeps the Ouroboros from being the meta, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That's why it's not the answer. It's not the answer you're looking for. Certain situations, it's amazing, right? But in other situations, it's like, it's still an SMG. It's still tied to a distance, you know? An optimal range. Where in that situation, if I was running, just from comparison purposes, like the St. Elmo's, then, you know, the St. Elmo's works at close range and long ranges. And, you know, it allowed me to turn my focus to that guy at range, maybe shock him, whatever. But, so yeah, SMGs, just like shotguns, can get you into trouble. You can find yourself surrounded. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing new. It's not the Ouroboros' fault. I'm just saying it's an SMG, right? And so it has nothing to do with like it itself. But I'm just saying, like, you know, it's hard to make an SMG the meta, you know, like the answer, whatever you want to call it, meta or whatever you want to call it. But like, it's just, it's a great gun, but it's going to have its situations. So like I have to go and chase them, right? Because otherwise I have to switch weapons to an assault rifle. My other weapon is a shotgun. So it forces you out of cover. It's a run and gun playstyle. So if that's not your comfort, then the gun is gonna be tough for you. You can still play SMGs without running and gunning, but you still got to get into the danger zone. Why are you hard to kill? And then when you're in a danger zone or the kill box, you know, you got enemies shooting you from all angles like this. So you got to make sure you have good survivability. I'm at it. I don't even see who's shooting me here. Oh, there he is. I think we're gonna need more armor. That shield breaks. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Nope. Too much fire going on. Yeah, 2 red core, 2 blue core. Having a second source of bonus armor is also really helpful, which is one reason why I like the memento, because it also powers you up. And so let's try that. I love the loads of bonus armor, but the problem is when they take away that bonus armor, it kind of sucks. So let me put on the memento, but by doing this, we'll get the armor regen underneath, so it'll be sort of easier. Let's see here. So we'll run that. We'll run the memento, and then let me see. Let's see if I have an armor run here. That makes sense. Probably on the chest. I should have one. It's got hazard. Oh, so annoying. I mean, we could try running this. That's a tier 2 shield right there anyways. But, you know, you can't change your armor cores here. They don't give you the tools to do it. Because apparently it's strictly a base of operations thing to do. You know what I mean? That's just kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb. We could go Bloody Knuckles too. That'd be fun. If we got lots of bonus armor, but the memento's gonna be better. I don't know. What am I saying? What am I saying? All right. Let me see. I'm looking for just a piece with the extra armor that would make sense. Because I'm being really lazy and don't want to go all the way to the White House. Select foxes with armor. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then that's good. And then I'll just put the Heartbreaker with crit damage, I guess. That should be close. Yeah, 53. Then we'll put crit chance here. 59, 102. Technically, it's too much crit chance, but we're good. Oh, actually, I could put that to crit damage. We could even run, at some point, we'll see how our power is right here, but we could even run protection from elites. But it just sucks to have your shield breaking. At some point, if we got this configured right, we can just lose the shield altogether. But right now, it's a damage modifier, so I'm kind of liking it, you know? Which one of these doors? It's this one? Yeah, but if you are going to run on Bloody Knuckles, a Heartbreaker build would be a good way to run them, you know? Lots of bonus armor or whatever. I'd probably even run Bloodsucker at the end of it. The back end of it, you know, just double up on that bonus armor. God, these guys are a pain in my ass. Oh my God, how long is her torch? God, I might as well be running hazard protection in here. That's why these enemies are annoying. I mean, her flamethrower is like 20 feet long. It's longer. That's kind of a problem if you think about it, right? That the range on her flamethrower is longer than the range on your SMG. Think about it. You really got to get to the flamethrower people fast. But you have to be careful how much you squish up on these guys because they have rushers that explode. So you don't want to go just standing by a door all the time. You know what I mean? Or if you hit a weak point, you catch on fire. You know, that sucks too. God damn. Oh my God. Pfft. This faction sucks. I'm on fire all the time. Let's get out of here. I mean, I'm wearing double bonus armor and just always on fire. It sucks. Yeah, you know, it's hard to get a good liquid engineer. Come on, game. Jesus Christ. It's hard to get a good liquid engineer, you know? I don't get a lot of them dropping for some reason. You know, from named item caches. And they rarely come up in, like, vendors and stuff like that, too. It's like one of those that kind of evades me. One of those named items that evades me. I get adrenaline rush a lot. You can from countdown in the form of like the credits. So you get the credits and then use the credits to buy named item caches, and then you get it that way. So indirectly. All right, let's get in here. This will be better time. Oh, also, because we're running a memento, we don't need to heal her anymore, so let's lose that. Sucker. It's a little easier when you're not on fire. But man, there's a lot of status effects in this game, huh? They love status effects. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what's hard. One of the hardest things about playing with shotguns and SMGs is weak points. They're actually no longer your friends. They're your enemies, you know? This is better. I can feel the power. A little protection from elites would be nice. Go shieldless more. Yeah, this feels great. Look at our stacks. It might be able to get rid of the shield. And replace it, you know, with like protection from elites and a little bit more armor. Maybe one more armor core. And then load up on protection from elites. Come here, you little fuck. Where? Jesus Christ, it's boss. What are you guys doing over the fence? Oh, God. Okay, so let's look at changing it up then, because okay, so it's super strong, and so I think we could increase our agility is what I want to do. Basically, by dropping the shield and going shieldless. Ugh, rogues, fucking rogues. I really don't care to fight them right now. They haven't been giving me shit, by the way, for gear. All right, changing builds. So with this strategy, if we're taking off the shield, then we lose firewall. Maybe go to like gunner or probably survivalist. Probably survivalist, and then take double heals. Yeah, that's what we'll do. The green healing ball. That's, yeah, Kamerska, here you go. You're about to get your green healing ball. I create those builds all the time for the Mender Seeker, but they're not called Mender Seeker builds. They're called something else, and the Mender Seeker just happens to be part of it. So let's see here. We're gonna have to add a little bit more armor, and then we're gonna put on some protection from elites. We don't need a lot of protection from elites, but it's gonna make the armor last a little bit longer. So I'll add one. And then what I'll do is run survivalist, and that'll be our second one. Another 20%. 10%. So we'll run survivalist here. Got take that off, run SMGs, take off pistols and put assault rifles just in case. And then we'll get the Mender Seeker. So let's activate that. And that's also going to give us another 10% armor on kill. So then we'll run double healers to give us a lot of resistance, basically. Because you'll be healing through some of the damage, right? And so... And then you got the regen on top of that. And these are going to take the 3% armor you're going to get the armor regen and then the 30% skill efficiency to those as well. Didn't I put on protection from release here? What happened? There we go. Okay, so that should give us 23. There we go. 23% protection from elites. And a small exchange in crits, and then we lose damage from the shield. Yeah, the lady's pretty fun. My favorite Lady Death is actually, there's a Hunter's Fury always works, but I'm not a big fan of Bloodsucker for out of cover builds for bonus armor, but the Lady Death kind of makes good use of it. Because it's so fast. All right, there we go. Deleted. How'd that come from? Fuck you, right, foam. How are you still getting that down? It was all on his shit, you know what I mean? He still got me foamed. Little low on ammo. PDX is back for Mo. Dropping 20 bombs. What's up, bro? Thanks for your support. Rock, what are you up to, man? I'm running a Heartbreaker. Last time we talked, you were working on a Heartbreaker build. This is almost the same one. Similar in concept. It's the no shield concept. Look, ma, no shield. So we're gonna start off with the shotgun again, build some stacks, right? Because time went on. So we got the double heals. Hold still, you fuck! Jesus Christ. He kept moving. That's an interesting one, huh? Skill haste, status effects on a wyvern with opportunistic. Skill damage, status effects. Good pieces. Right on. Been hacking away at it. So we got 1.3 here with 23% protection from elites. And as you can see, it was like barely enough. You take a few shots, you can feel that armor just kind of ringing its way downward. And like, and we're playing pretty fast too. You know what I mean? You see me staying on my toes. But we were still basically running on the edge of what we need for armor, bonus armor to stay alive. And then the protection from elites. I mean, might want it one step up. So we could take a look at that and see if we're pulling too much away from our damage. Because time to kill is important too, so you don't want to... We're looking for the balance. Yeah, Oreo Heartbreaker, that's right. Yeah, Ahmed. Oreo! And so we tested first to see if it was realistic to get your stacks, and it seems to be a pretty good tool. And so you can use your shotgun once or twice. You only need to use it once or twice, at least. And then from there, you can basically maintain your 100 stacks, or close to it. Yeah, they did that intentionally, Nelson. It doesn't work on... Yeah, so Warhounds and aerial drones are autonomous. But things like tanks and turrets are proxies. And so that's the difference. And yeah, it's a stupid thing that they did. And it's just stupid. I don't know why they did it. They did it to give it and Striker some differentiation, to make them like different, so that you had a reason to choose one over the other. But it's just stupid. It's stupid because, and I'll tell you why. One of the reasons why they did it, but that's one reason, and there's a more important reason. But it's stupid because you're usually running Technician, and so you're like, it's sort of a legendary setup, and so I'm running Technician so that I can have more damage to robotics. Yeah, I can't stack against robotics. And that's also why they did it, is because it was too powerful against robotics. So, because you can stack against those robotics, and then you're running Technician, which is giving you too additional damage against robotics. And then those robotics, in their minds, were being deleted too quickly. But that should be its perk. You know what I mean? That's its thing. That's its unique. I mean, I would want to say that. You know, when I'm putting together a Heartbreaker build, I was like, one of the reasons why you want to choose Heartbreaker over Striker is for Legendary, because you get additional damage against robotics that's godly levels, you know? And, you know, Striker's strong, so it's like, you know? And so, the real problem with it is that it creates an inconsistency where, you know, Striker stacks against robotics, but Heartbreaker doesn't. And, you know, you have to, that's another thing you got to learn. Another thing to make it difficult for new players. Inconsistencies make the game a little less user-friendly. Delete.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
I meleeed him, and he died. It's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. You know how rare an experience it is to melee somebody and they actually die in the Division 2? So rare. There should be an achievement for it. Like a little, like, elf should pop out of the screen and be like, you did it. Uh-oh. Good timing. Look at this renob. Yeah, it's actually better without a shield. And so because you turn speed into one of your advantages, where the shield slows you down, and so that's why I was a little bit more successful, is because I was able to get to those spawn points faster, or at least close to them faster, and get them sort of when they're unsuspecting, right? And so it's kind of part of this a situational awareness slice, you know, because that's part of it, because I kind of know where to be generally, you know. I know they're gonna come out of that door in the back, and then from there's 3 jump off points, and so I kind of play in the center of those 3, and wait till I can see where they're coming out of, and then I run over there. But that all has to do with speed, right? And so you have to be able to be fast, and one of the ways to be fast is to not run a shield. And so you can add to your survivability when you combine your speed and agility with your situational awareness. It can be more powerful than a shield that way. Dr. Hannes, thanks, man, for the tip. Lucky Charms elf, yeah. So this is always a tough control point for SMGs here we're going to, and the reason why is because there's a lot of open ground, and so the enemies can take different shots. They have clear line of sight on you at different angles, so it can be tough, this one, especially if they get their turrets up high on the airplane. The crash site. So we'll see if we can pull this one off. So I'll start with my shotgun again. We'll build those stacks. All right, let's kick it off. Ah, it's a lot of damage right there. Yeah, too much. See what I'm saying? See what I was saying? A little hard on SMGs right there. A lot of damage coming different locations. I mean, I could just be a little bit more patient. Thanks, Doc.
Reinforcement complete.
4 million all at once. Yeah, basically. And so basically, you know, I test these builds to my playstyle, so I don't always, you know, adapt to the build as much as I want the build to adapt to me. It's my stubbornness. Oh, I hate you, tank. I hate you. Oh, that should be good. Stacks. Wait, come back. Jesus. Almost 3 melees to kill him. He only had a sliver.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Oh, we got him coming from different areas. God damn, huh? That dog blew up my skills. It's kind of annoying. It's like, really? You got that kind of reach? Can we just have one advantage? Ah, get off my nuts. I broke it. It's still shooting. Do you see that? Bullshit. Yeah, this one's always a little bit tough, even on the stacks, whether you're running strike or whatever, because there's a lot of running. You notice that? And you don't want to shoot at range, it's just going to be more misses. It's a good one to snipe on, though, because you got really clear visibility yourself. They got visibility on you, obviously, when you're out of cover, and you can reverse that roll with the sniper in this one. So as you can see, we lost all our stacks just running from A to B. You know, I wish there were like knee pads like that gave you the same skill as the Lady Death. Because she runs sideways, you know, you miss every shot. It's that easy. That's all she's got to do is move sideways.
Supply room access locked.
All right, let's see what else we can do to this bad boy. So we got other things like Intimidate, which is fun with this build. No, I was saying, yeah, I'm wearing the green healing ball right now. I was telling you that you don't really build around the green healing ball. You create a build and the healing balls kind of comes with it. Because it's usually the specialization, you know? And so if you're running a healer build, for example, it's not going to typically be your first choice because it's the weaker of your choices. Say it's stronger. It's stronger than the drone, but not by much. So, you know, it's not something you really build around. I mean, it's just gonna come with it. So, but there are builds that I have that are incorporated as a healer, like a self-healer build. I have an income and repair build, and I use it for my income and repair build. That's an example. And then I have another one where, like, basically they're all kind of like that. They're usually self-healer builds. And that's basically what I'm running here, right? So because I'm going shieldless, it's like, well, I could go decoy or put on more heals. It's the same, but different, you know? So it's just, you could also do that, but it's not strong enough to build around. And also, you can't control it too well. It's kind of autonomous, which is also its strength, which is why I run it, because, you know, it's hands-free and I want my heals to be hands-free. I just want them to heal me over time, strong or not. You know, I'm okay because I got the bonus armor, so I just slow heals is fine. You know, but it squirts periodically. It's not always healing you, and it lags you too. So the problem with it is, like, let's say I need heals really bad, right? And so I get in cover and it detects that I need heals, and so it'll squirt me, but now I'm ready to go, or I need to go because maybe I'm getting flanked. And so I just walked out of that periodic heal. I had to leave it behind, and it is periodic. It doesn't constantly heal you like the drone. So it's really out of your control. But if you're looking for an autonomous skill, or if you're looking for heals and you're not running shields, then it's a really good one to go, and just kind of, it's there and it's not, but it's not something you're relying on. But I have a lot of builds that use it. I mean, protection from elites builds, the Invisi Shield builds use it. But it's not, again, like I said, it's not something that I build around. It's incorporated in builds as an asset. Where are these guys? What's up? Oh, come here, buddy. There we go. There it is. That was the first wave, everybody. That was fast and easy. I felt like saying hiya right there. I said it mentally, though. Hiya. Great little build this way. I think if we, we'll try running Intimidate too and get a little more damage up front.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Really? I was so far away from you. Fucking foamers. Oh, fucking melee.
Hostile detected.
Ah. I guess I'll just go for the body. I don't. Sometimes you just kind of. That's the Heartbreaker thing. We'll talk about it. You know, because you have to get headshots to build your stacks, but you only have to get one. And the problem is that because you just kind of programmed, I got to get my headshot, then you keep going for the head, even though you don't have to. You know, it's like a conditioning. You know, and so you're missing more shots because of that, and you're adding more reloads because of that, and you can fix that by changing your skill, and then we could run like the Night Watcher mask. But this is working. It's just you got to decondition yourself from doing that. Get your pulse, shoot him in the chest. You know. Not that headshots are bad, but at that range, at that RPM, you're missing a lot of shots and adding reloads, you know? And you don't need to. You don't need to. Just get your headshot, pulse him, move on. But that's shredded. That was a lot of fun. So I like this build. But just be advised that if you're new to the game, I'm making it look easier than it probably really is, right? So, the part that's easy is not the killing part. It's I knew where to be. Does that make sense? So like, I knew they were gonna start coming out of that door. I had a feeling. I could have been wrong, but I know that they're either gonna come from there or they'd come from there. And every now and again, they'll come from the other side. And you know, I hate when that happens. But so that's attributed a lot to my survivability, more than you think. And that's why when I say what makes you good at this game, it's the first thing is situational awareness. That's part of it. Where to be and when to be there. And people, you can have inherent situational awareness, so meaning like you come to the game with it, like elevated situational awareness, where you're just constantly aware and being aware of who's around you and what kind of enemies around you or whatever, when to bail, when to stay. But there's the other kind of situational awareness that you can't have unless you play a lot of hours into the game, and eventually you just remember. And that's what that is. That's just, I just know from playing that control point a bazillion times that they're gonna come out of there, or there. You know, and it is random. It is RNG based. So I just kind of play the edges of those zones. And for SMGs, it's huge. It's really huge. Shotguns, it's really important to do that. Again, your weakness is damage from range, and you don't want to be out of armor by the time you get to the enemies. So you don't have to play that way, but it's a lot easier to play that way. Otherwise, you know, you're gonna have to do a lot of this to get over there, and by that, they're also flanking you while you're doing that. And so you get to the spawn, let's just say it's that door. I'm not there yet. This is too far for an SMG. You got to be that far. And by that time, you got enemies way over there shooting at you. You got enemies way over there shooting at you. You got a turret set up now. You know what I mean? And then riot foamers flanking you in the front. It's just like, so, you know, that's why I don't like to play the whole cover to cover SMG thing too much, because, you know, it's so slow that by the time you get there, they're out of position and they're set up. They're set up. Okay, so let's try a new version of this build. Let's reset everything. Let's put on some more damage. Oh yeah, I've tried just about everything, Kamerska. Yeah, the bomber drone, not a good skill. It's really hard. For one, the explosive turret has the same targeting system, and I hate that targeting system. It's this big like top hat that's in the middle of your screen. And the bomber has the same thing, and it never goes away. You know what I mean? It's like always there. It's super annoying. Well, the bomber is a little bit different because you can deploy it, but either way, I don't like it. And then, you know, you got all these bombs, and I think it's like, what, 10 bombs or something like that. And like 9 of them miss and 1 of them lands, and it's just horribly inefficient that way. I've had fun using it. Like, I've used it in Legendary and it was okay, but obviously not obviously, but it just felt like, and it's probably true, that there's just more efficient skills to use. And I've used it in the summit, and it's a small space, so it's a little easier to land a bomb on things, but you'd be surprised. And it doesn't do a very good job of actually killing the enemies, you know? I feel like the best thing that it does is actually get the enemies out of cover, because they'll dodge it. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't try it, because I don't like it, you know? But it's one that I don't typically, you know, I like being creative with builds. You know, I like being creative with builds, but I don't create builds just to be creative, if that makes sense. You know? So, and I know some creators do. They'll create a build just because it's ultra creative. And it's just like, it's still got to be effective. You know what I mean? Otherwise I'm not going to, you know, spend the hours making a video behind it, you know, just because it's creative, you know. And so what my point is like, yeah, you can run the build for that thing because it's creative, but it's just a bad skill for me, you know. But I like the fireflies. They're all three of them are really effective. The blind, the demolisher, and then the other one, whatever it's called. They're all good. They're all good. That's one to get into if you like explosive shit. And the best one is the one with the cool, not the best one, but one of the really good ones. It has a really fast cooldown, so it's actually really easy to build around. You know? What do you call it? It's not the demolisher one, it's the purple one. This one, the burster. The burster's a ton of fun and very effective, and it's got a very fast cooldown when you got skill tiers. Or skill haste or whatever. So it's pretty good. I like it. The burster firefly is a lot of fun and it's effective. Okay, so let's see here. And then I use the blind also. You guys, I'm sure, have seen the blind one. You know, we could do the perfect companion here. That might not be bad. Because we got the double drones. I mean, we're not using status effects. I usually stay away from it if I'm not running status effects. But we'll run both of them, but we'll bring it along. There's also the Intimidate. See which one of these is good. I don't have that many, so I'll take that one. Get the Hunter Killer. And I got Bellstone with Intimidate too. I got a Cheska also. Cheska can be good too sometimes just to help get your crits up at the loss of a little bit of amp damage. But the amp damage can come and go if you don't have bonus armor, for example. Let's try it. Let's try it. So we'll put on the Heartbreaker here. And then let's just start with regular Intimidate at the moment. Well, you know, we could do closer too, right? If we're activating the pulse with the headshots. Should we try that? Is that insane? Let's try that first. Why not? Why not? It's not something we typically do around here. I'll be honest. Because I'm so reliant on the pulse usually, but this is kind of working out. Mm-hmm. 59, good. Oops. Let's see if we can get this to work. If the enemy's pulsed, it's working. It's that simple. So the set offers a free pulse. Let's see if we can rock it. Or otherwise, we're gonna run Intimidate. Let's just make sure we got them both in here. So we got the Hunter Killer. I mean, the Henry, and then we got the Hunter Killer. We got a couple different versions. I'd probably run that one, I guess. Let me just drop off a couple things. All right, good enough. Right on, PDX. Thanks for swinging by. We reset, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. New circuit. Where am I? I'm curious to see if this works. If so, wow, this would be great. Damn. Do you see how fast he ran? So we're just stacking right now. Bet it is a great spot for a turret. Come on, guy. Thanks for the free stacks, I guess, huh? All right, now we're going. Oof, deleted. I can feel that extra damage when we have it. Oh, we got a lot of targets here. I thought I hit the flare already, didn't I? Oh. Let's get in there. Oh, I hate your melees. You're guaranteed melee, you know what I mean? They never miss a melee, even if you like move. All right, we need stacks. There we go, fully stacked. Oh, but then I can never find an enemy, right? Fuck. Where are they? Fuck. Lost all our sacks. Nobody to kill. There we go. Look how fast these stacks degrade. And we only got 50 too. That's it's. Just run around looking for enemies all the time though. Come here. Fuck. So fast. Ah, you tried to melee me, huh? The bonus of the chest piece, though, is that you double up on that bonus armor, too, and the damage. That's why the chest piece could also attractive. So this is just a little more of a burst. But less total. Damn, it takes them a long time to get over here. Wow, you missed a melee. First ever. I like how she can walk backwards faster than I can run forward. That's a good skill. Pretty good. I don't know if it's better though.
Supply room access.
Because the chest piece again offers more bonus armor, which is really nice. Because it's doubling your bonus armor stacks and your damage stacks.
Hostile broadcast picked up.
Okay, so there's that one. Now let's try Intimidate. Now with Intimidate, I usually run a shield because then you can protect your bonus armor and get damage too. So let's try Henry first. Let's see if we like that. Which is the same but different. But the good thing about the Henry is that you're gonna have that damage whether you're pulsed or not. So that's the good part. Oh yeah, they're a lot of work. They're all kind of a lot of work, really, though. Because if you're running shieldless, you got to be pretty fast, and if you got a shield, then you still kind of got to be fast too, because your shield can break. They're really good at breaking your shield. Right on, Scott. Yeah, I had a fun time last night too. Glad we got to get another one in. Now we've got to get Sick Jim his, at least by Tuesday. On Tuesday at the reset, we all have our keys. Sick Jim works hard at being first. He's a beast. He's always here, reminding people to hit the like. Reminder, reminder. All right, should be good.
Reinforcements incoming.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice because it's kind of an assurance. Like you always got this, at least this other damage always kicking in. Is there somebody back here or not? What the fuck? You know, where the other ones are pulse related, and so this one kind of balances that out. I can kind of feel that. I can go all for the head on this big boy. See if we can do it. Oh, thanks for the punch. He's got a big helmet. There it is. Just for fun. Take a little extra ammo to do that though. His helmet is really strong, so I'm not really advised to go for his helmet. I like this one. It feels good right away. It's going to be a tough competition with the chest piece on this one. Again, the chest piece's advantage is it's 100% damage, 100% bonus armor. So that's a tough combo to beat. Look at that asshole. He went all the way back to the back. Typical fucking bullshit. Because we ran all the way back here. For one NPC. Let's get some stacks.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Oh my god, she moves so much. Oh, missed a lot of shots right there. Oh, damn it. Shotguns are hard on you, man. I felt that. Just tong, tong, tong. Get over here. Come on, there's nobody even over there. Support the troops. What up, Polly? This one's fun. It seems like really well balanced. I can feel the balancing of it all. Like, you know, the fact that you got this little extra damage hitting up the enemy before you pull some, and it just gives you a little bit of an edge. Yeah, it's going to be a tough competition with between this and the chest piece. The chest piece is tough, right? So you see what I'm saying? The chest is really good because remember, you're getting 50 stacks at base of damage and bonus armor, 50 of each, right? The chest pushes that to 100. So 100, you know, so this chest is 20. But it's not going to beat the additional 50% in damage and 50% in bonus armor. However, it's going to give you more upfront damage and also help when you're not pulsed. So it's just more of a balancing damage than really added damage. You know, so it's making the first 50 stacks stronger because it's total weapon damage, if I remember right. So it does make the first 50 stacks stronger, but it's still not stronger than 100 stacks. But there's less stacking altogether, which is also nice, right? Because you only got 50 stacks to worry about instead of 100 stacks to maintain, which could be easier or harder depending on the control point. So, you know, it's a tough competition. One's not necessarily better than the other because they both worked out pretty good. But we're going to check out Intimidate next. Yeah, we'll get him one by Tuesday. Figure. We'll all have our keys, so somebody's bound to get it. I mean, we've been having good luck in there, I think, you know. I can run a little bit more armor on this next one to play into the bonus armor. It doesn't seem like the Oreo is really rare. However, I hear people saying that they're struggling to get it. saying like, I've played this thing 35 times and haven't got it yet. It's like, whoa. Honestly, that's bad luck, bro. You should have it. You should have it by the third or the fifth, you know, no problem, you know? It's always like that. Like my Eagle Bearer, my Ravenous, and the Oreo, I got them all within 3 caches. And I don't feel like I'm that unique. You know what I mean? Like RNG wise, I'm not, you know? It's just, you know, some people, I think the more determined you are to get it though, I think it just becomes harder to get. I don't know why, you know? But we've been real casual about it. I think I like how this community has been around the Oreo. We're just like, yeah, you want to do the incursion? Let's just do it, you know? We'll do it once a week. There's other communities grinding it daily and that's all they're playing. You know what I mean? That's all they're playing is the incursion. It's like, wow. I mean, I like the incursion, but not that much. You know what I mean? That it's the only content I'm going to play. Just because I want to get a better time. Like, who gives a fuck? Then what? You know? Alright, Intimidate's gonna be sick. Beware. Intimidate usually is. I normally run a shield with this, but... Oh, you saw those bullets come around that corner, right? Fucking bullshit. Oh, cheater. This game. I mean, it's not delayed damage. The bullets actually came around the corner. It's not delayed damage. When you can see the bullets.
Reinforcements in place.
All right. Oh yeah, this feels great. I mean, look at that bonus armor. Oh yeah, ma. Yeah, I'm from Boston. Oh yeah. Killing like a Bostonian. Oh yeah, it feels great. Lost our bonus armor and we're still shredding. Oh yeah, that's a great one. This is probably the better of them all. Do we add the shield or do we keep it off? Would be the question. Yeah, ma. You're like, Tux, please don't. Your Boston accent sucks. I know it does. I don't know what he has against Boston people.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Come here. Oh, it's fun. Come here, fuck you then. I'm not gonna chase you. Oh, yeah. Feeling good. God damn it. Wasting my fucking time. He's out there chasing one fucking purple guy, you know? Throwing off my mojo. Because you can't get a single kill, you know? Ugh.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Really? They're gonna come out that door? What the? Damn you! Ah, fucking melee. Now where are they? Look at them all running over there. Wrong way! Oh my god, this purple guy's still alive out here. Wow.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
That sucks. It's always the foam, isn't it, guys? That was fun. Whew. Okay, so now we got to go full circle to figure out which one's best. But that's up there. I would say so far, that one felt the best. And then the Henry is behind this. And the question is this one better than the chess piece? And I would say, like, from an analytical position, like, yes. And the reason why is because this perfect Intimidate has nothing to do with stacking. It has a little bit to do with stacking because sometimes, right? But not only. So what I mean is, like, so when you're pulsing, you get bonus armor and damage, right? And the bonus armor activates Intimidate. But when you get a kill, you also get damage and you also get bonus armor, which is driving that too. So it has like an insurance, you know, in case your stacks are failing you, you're still going to get bonus armor from here. So the chess piece its uptime, I think, is good because of that. And we added on armor for this too. And it still was like, it was killing, shredding. And we're obviously playing in that distance. For the incursion, I got a few. It's Henri. That's the main one I'd recommend right there. Street King. 4-piece striker. Yeah. All red. Don't half-ass it with some armor and shit. Turns out it's just better just to go all in on that. Until you got a squad that you're up to par. Who's up to speed with the strategy and all that. And then you guys can start having some changes. 59102. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the chess piece and we're gonna test it out, and we're gonna keep the 3 cores and see which one we like now. Because chess piece is hard to beat. I rarely run a Heartbreaker without the chess piece. I have, and I've enjoyed those builds, but it's rare. And the times that I have, it usually is because of that Intimidate chess piece, I recall. Oh yeah, Polly. I hardly use the St. Elmo's. I basically only use the St. Elmo's right now for the incursion. I mean, I'm not opposed to using the St. Elmo's, but I don't like to use the same weapon all day, every day. I mean, I don't even use the Ouroboros. I'm only whipping it out because a bunch of guys got it yesterday from the stream last night, so I'm just kind of giving some people some ideas. But this is more of a Heartbreaker build and a day, and not an Ouroboros day. But what I'm trying to do is not just do a Heartbreaker build, but do a Season 2 Heartbreaker build. So I want to incorporate Season 2 things. And my playstyle is out of cover, so bonus armor is one of those things. But we could do the perfect unstoppable force backpack, but turret wailed on me there. Then we lose some bonus armor, but we could try it because we can still get some bonus armor. That might be interesting too, but the memento's doing the same thing but better. I've always looked at it as unstoppable force as kind of a makeshift memento. Has some of the elements the memento does, but the memento's got bonus armor also, and stacks potentially higher. I always looked at the memento as bloodsucker and unstoppable force put together. So now we got 100 stacks to worry about, so I'm gonna build them up real quick. Like, why is he not pulse? You're saying none of those initial pellets landed on his head. And that's what we're saying? That's what we're gonna agree on here. Where are they coming from? Really? Oh, that's fucking murder, huh? Me and her in that small room like that, I feel like it was a murder scene. Stacks are looking good. Really? Way the fuck over there, huh? Shoot me in the fog. Did perfect accuracy. Look at that damage. Right on, man. Good for you.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
See, I'm outrunning those heals a lot. Not the greater sealer. A little mender. But, you know, when you're running shieldless, what else? The decoy. So the decoy does good too, but you also leave that behind when you're running and gunning also. But boy, it can save your butt from the right foam. God, there's so many red dots on my screen. I don't know where they're coming from. Oh, really? Took half a mag to your face and you're still swinging, huh? Oh, so annoying. Oh, come on. Wow. They're on point. Oh, you dick. Ugh, nowhere to go because my allies never came. You see that? They never came. So I got to start all over. Ah, so irritating. That doesn't make any sense when it's like that. That they make you start over like that. Just let us go back to the same control point. Why? Why make us go back to a loading screen? Oh yeah, the Banshee pulse. Good call. I always forget about the Banshee. Anyways, yeah. I think I'm liking Intimidate though. I think I'm liking it more than the extra stacks. Cause I felt good about the bonus armor we were getting for Intimidate. Let's now that we're here, let's go back to Intimidate. And then let's run the firewall so that we get the additional damage from that also and to protect our bonus armor. But we're not gonna be using it defensively per se. We're mostly going to be using it for its damage. And then again, the defense part isn't to save our butt as much as it is to protect the bonus armor so that we have more damage. So let's do this one. And then what I'm going to do is put crit damage there. And what it's going to do is give us a stronger punch up front that Intimidate, and then we got sources of damage that aren't related to the pulse directly, and we like that, so we're not always having to stress out about it. Let's see what our crits are. 57, 114, perfect. All right, let's go to the striker shield now. Lose a little protection from leads. I like the protection from leads too, so it's a tough call, I'm not gonna lie. Protection from elites makes that bonus armor last longer, which allows you to go shieldless more. But this has always sort of made sense for me with Intimidate. All right. Free damage. And you're protecting the bonus armor. And it's such a good shield. And you got a strong shield now too, right? That's a tier 5 shield right there. I like firewall shield. I mean, man, if you could put the firewall shield with gunner, the armor on kill, it'd be amazing. You know, that's what they were gonna do at one point. They were gonna give us that option. You would have, check this out. You would have been able to run the Artificer Hive with the firewall shield on gunner. Throw in the memento and oh boy. Because you get the skill tier driving the Artificer Hive. Oh. So you would have armor on kill, damage coming from the shield, and the Artificer Hive repairing your shield and buffing its damage. Okay, so here's our build. So we got 1.5 million armor and just 13% protection from elites now. And now we got more damage coming from the shield and less protection from elites. Just kind of occupy them for a second as I do this. Suckers didn't notice that. Oh, I happen to have the right gun in my hands. What's up, everybody? Glad to be here. My name is Tux, and I'll be here all night. Oh yeah, this is a build. Just the way the damage stacks is just really nice. We might even take the decoy instead of this fixer. Oh my god, no way you outran those bullets. Cheater. Guess they're coming from upstairs today, huh? Oops. Aw, come on, dude. Thank you for coming down. I need you to stack.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Ah, stop walking sideways. Why is it like that in this game? If they walk sideways, they dodge every bullet you shoot. No, it's likely like a controller thing. You know what I mean? Like we can't shoot and swing our controller to the right. The camera speed just kind of slows. I don't know what it is. It's something like that though. I don't know how to describe it. But when they walk sideways, they just have a horrible time. Our bullets just trail them. Yeah, that feels amazing and easy, I gotta say. Yeah, that's the build. That's sick. I mean, that's 1.5 million armor, guys. I mean, you know what I mean? Protection from elites there a little bit. You know, not a lot, but just that one mod. But for that kind of armor to feel that good, you know, on your time to kill, it's pretty neat. Two sources of bonus armor, so 2 ways to activate Intimidate, you know. And then you have the extra 50 damage coming from the gear set, and then you got the mementos stacking 5, 10, 15 on fresh trophies. 15% damage on fresh trophies, and then you got the bonus armor kicking at 10, 20, 30, 40% from the on kill, and then 50% in stacks. So it's got a little bit of everything. And then you got the damage coming from the shield. So when you have nothing else, you got your shield kicking in some damage, you know? And then you got the base DPS booster just coming from the SMG. Just a good base of damage right there. We're staggering. So you got that going for you. So it's just really well balanced. You don't have to have the protection from elites. It's just a little edge that I'm putting on to get that bonus armor to last. And the bonus armor isn't all defense here. It is offense also. And so your defense is your offense with this build, which is also really cool if you think about it, right? Your defense is your offense. Even the shield. Because the shield is 13% damage per enemy standing in front of you. And it's also a defense that's protecting your bonus armor, which is also your offense, because Intimidate is activated from bonus armor. So your defense is your offense. And same with the Heartbreaker. It's a perfect synergy because your offense is your defense here. Because when you shoot, you stack. When you stack, you get more damage. When you stack, you get more bonus armor. So your offense is your defense. And it's spread all around here. So it's everything is that way on this setup. There's not one thing I can say isn't like that. So yeah, I think that's the build. I'm gonna save it because it's fun. Yeah, less stacks, more front damage. Yeah. And so when I put on the chest piece again, which I'm a big fan of the chest piece, but the stacks, it all of a sudden felt more tedious, those additional 50 stacks. Where, you know, I felt like I was whipping out the shotgun more. All of a sudden, that's how it felt, but it didn't feel like that initially, but in comparison, which is why I chose the Intimidate chest in the end, because in comparison it was just good to not run it. I felt like I was a little bit more liberated. So if you don't have perfect hunter killer, you know, you got whatever, run probably a Cheska or a Grupo, something like that. Just put your armor somewhere else. So Heartbreaker normally runs with armor, so it'll be easy to put armor on these pieces. And then just put Cheska with Intimidate. You could put Cheska, Sokolov, or Grupo with Intimidate. And I'm pretty sure I have one somewhere around here. That's Obliterate. You can even run Obliterate if you wanted to. If you don't want to worry about your bonus armor, then Obliterate frees you up there. And it's just another source of damage. And it's a good source of damage. The thing is that this is something that people don't think about with Obliterate, is that it only lasts 5 seconds. Intimidate lasts 10 seconds. Because it's tied to your bonus armor. And so you can maintain your full stacks for 10 seconds and refresh it every time you get a kill, technically, every time you pick up a trophy, or even if you just hit. So it ends up being indefinite because you're also getting bonus armor from Heartbreaker that doesn't have a time limit, right? It doesn't expire. Well, 2 stacks are lost each second, so it deteriorates, but it doesn't just drop off. I never noticed. I mean, by the time it's gone anyways, it's usually because somebody shot you, right? So it's, so I mean, the reality is that your Intimidate uptime is 100% from that perspective. The reality is it's not. It probably drops off every now and again, but it feels like it's always on, and it has the potential to be always on because of the 2 sources of bonus armor, and which means that as long as there's bonus armor on your build, Intimidate is always there. And Obliterate is really, the truth about Obliterate is it's really easy to get, right? You just got to crit. But that 5 second thing, like if you watch your builds, your Intimidate builds, and this bugs me personally, is that I'll watch my Intimidate stack, and it's like every time I step up to an enemy, you know, it's just like Intimidate's not there again. I'm having to build up Intimidate. I mean, Obliterate. Obliterate's not there again. So I kill this enemy, I kill him, and then I was like, oh, Obliterate's not there again. I had to stack that up, and then I run to the next enemy, point my gun at him, I'm like, Obliterate's gone again. You know what I mean? I only went 5 steps and Obliterate expired. And so you're always restacking Obliterate, always. And that bugs me. A lot of things are like that. That's what the devs do, stack things. You know? They're good at that. But anyways, this one did actually feel like the easiest to run out of all of them also. So it has that going for it. I mean, and with an SMG, no matter what, you're not going to really be playing slow. You're going to be playing fast no matter what. So all of them are going to require a fast gameplay style. But this one's less stacking. All of them required the shotgun at least once or twice, but this one has the least amount of stacks to worry about. So even if you do use it once or twice, you can put it away pretty quickly because you only need 50. Yeah, it's like the stacking thing is one way to nerf this, and then the other way to nerf this is the timer. So you know how they put 5-10 second timers on everything? That's a major kick in the ass, I gotta say. Like, because nothing takes 10 seconds in this game. To walk from, or to run from here to there in the same control point takes 10 seconds. Watch your killer when you use, that's why I know it's really, people don't like to hear it, but, so it's sort of controversial, but, you know, the dark winter kind of sucks, you know, and people don't like to hear that. But the reality is it's an SMG. It only works inside 15 meters. And so when you're doing open world content, when you kill this enemy, you kill an enemy, you activate killer, right? And then you run to the next enemy. It took you 10 seconds to get there, maybe 9 seconds to get there. By the time you pull the trigger, you maybe a couple of your bullets got that killer activation, and then it's gone, and then you kill him, and then you turn it on, and then you go to the next enemies, and it's the same thing. So you maybe got 1 second of killer active, you know, and it's always, you know, they nerf you with that 10-second thing, and it's just like, they should increase the clocks to like 15-20 seconds, you know. I mean, one of the best ones is Hunter's Fury's chest piece, pushing your amp damage to 30 seconds. That's good. Headhunter's got 30 seconds on it. That's good. Unstoppable Force has got 15 seconds, which is a little bit better, but you got to stack it 5 times, which sucks. Yeah. Beard King, what's up? But yeah, the timers are just kind of like, I'm just like, yeah, Really, guys? They feel what they feel like is they feel stingy. You know, they feel very stingy. All right, let's get this going. All right. She's gonna run down the goddamn city block here. I'm gonna go up there. She's gonna jump. I told you. It's God. Predictable NPC behavior. Hate you, right, foam guy? They love to go back there, I'll tell you what. Where are they? God damn it. Still turned around right now? You suck. Mr. Badman. Mr. Badman, give me that sound. Hold that. Oop, behind us.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
So annoying. How many shots I missed right there?
Hostile detected.
You really gotta get up in their face sometimes, huh? Ah, of course I hit that. It's like fucking glue. I mean, you know how hard it is to not hit that electric box on his backpack? I mean, when you're going for it, you won't get it. But when you're not going for it, it's like 100% hit chance on his electrical box. How many, have you ever caught that? I swear it's 100% hit chance on that electrical box when you're within 2 meters. But if you're outside of the shock range of it, you have a hard time hitting it. Funny. Let me see if I have one. I'm gonna drop an armor core and see if I like it better. So let me change a mod here. So drop it to 1.3. See if we can tell. It'll change the damage scaling a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So, I mean, upfront burst a little bit. You can have an immediate 15% more damage. And then every time you pick up a trophy, it's 5% more, 5% more, 5% more because of that extra red core. So I'm gonna see if I can feel that. Might not be, it might be inconsequential. And so in that case, you know, you'd probably want to lean towards the bonus armor. And I don't care what the numbers say, I care what I feel. You know what I mean? So even if the numbers are higher, which they would be, I don't care about that. I want to detect it. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing higher numbers, but you know, if I can't tell that it's a faster time to kill, then that means it's not affecting my gameplay. Feels good though. And sometimes you can trick yourself, like we call it the placebo effect, right? So you think you can detect it, but you're kidding yourself. No, you fool yourself into thinking that you can detect a change, and you just really can't. You know the change happened, and so you say you can detect it, and you think you can. You're convinced. Yeah, not much anybody can tell you differently there, right? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And so, but when all else fails, you know, you can kind of weigh into the advantages of just having more. If you can't tell, you know, just be like, well, you know, if I can't tell, then I might as well, whatever that is. If I can't tell the difference in damage, then I might as well go with more bonus armor. If I can't tell the difference of bonus armor, I might as well go more damage. For me, I feel like I can tell. Especially with that shotgun, which is a weaker of the weapons, you know? I mean, the numbers are quite a bit higher looking at those two. They went from basically at least 100,000 higher with a very small change. So they scaled nicely. We were hitting at 690 before from what I could track. And I'm seeing basically just shy of 800,000 on crit. 790 right there. I'd have probably killed him in one mag if I didn't miss some of those shots. That boss. Yeah, so I mean, to me, it feels like actually feels like a faster time to kill. And who really knows? You don't really know, because between any two builds, trying to detect time to kill when a margin is that close is really hard to actually detect. I'd have to like record it and do like a frame by frame check, which is just cheating, because most of you guys don't have that ability, right? Yeah, speaking of cheating, you saw that, right? I feel like these guys would be really good break dancers. Yeah. A little bit at range there. I mean, not at a lot of range, but 15 meters feels deep on a Vector. I'll just put it that way. See how hard she is to kill at that range? 3 mags in her, basically, just because she was out of my distance. Yeah, the way the multipliers are working on this build makes it feel really good. Different sources of damage stacking on top of it. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's probably the right equation right there. Dropped armor down to 1.3. Felt like I had even more survivability, you know. And in theory, you would. You would. Because again, time to kill is the utmost of importance. But we always talk about, though, with this one, the damage, your defense is your offense, and your offense is your defense. So it doesn't mean shed your armor, because then you lose damage. So you don't want to do that. So you're finding a balance there. That balance between whatever, and that's, you know, and there's no wrong answer here. You're gonna have to feel out your level of defense, offense, you know, depending on how fast or how much time you spend out of cover, or how much you know the content that you're playing, and you might take a little bit more damage, so you might want a little bit more bonus armor, or you might stay in cover a lot more. And that could result in a lot of different things. So, you know, you could be landing more shots because you're not moving as much. You could be using a longer range weapon. So you can be stacking for more distances where the enemies are having a harder time putting shots on you. So, you know, all of that can change how much bonus armor you're going to need. Of course. That's a good mask. I'll have to keep that one. Luminous, what's good? Did we get our proficiency on this thing? I think we might have. Oh, we are proficient. No, Ouroboros. Should we go spend some resources? Might as well. Especially if we're going to be using this in the incursions. I'm not really super excited to load up on expertise on all my weapons. I'm just really not, but if it's a weapon I know I'm going to use a lot, I will. And, you know, knowing that this is a really good gun in the incursions, I got to tell you guys, like, it really was a game changer for me. Like, you know, if you watch all those incursion videos of people making it look really easy, and you're like, man, they make it look so easy, I go in there, it's so hard, and they're all running to Ouroboros, that's it really is adding to that. It really did. Because I was using a really strong build, and I was using the St. Elmo's too, and it felt pretty good, and I was doing a good job. But when I switched over to the Ouroboros for a couple of those checkpoints, I was like, oh my gosh, this thing makes it so easy. Just because you're playing in that range anyways, right? You're playing in that 15 meters. Okay, it's fully researched. Got it. So expertise, sorry. Proficient. And so upgrade. All right, let's break the bank. It's about to happen here. Oh, look, we're level 21 too. All my expertise has been passive, if you're curious. So I haven't done any real investing in expertise systems. It's all just been donating my garbage into it. And I mean, really, so when I top out my resources in my inventory, I come in here and do a little research. Basically offload my garbage. You know, optimizing, in my opinion, is actually more expensive than the expertise system. Obviously, not in the form of exotic components, but in just overall cost of things, how much you're dumping into it. Because at this stage, the reality is that, you know, once you get all your exotics, it's sort of like, well, what else am I going to do with these exotics? So it's a good thing that they gave us something to do with our exotics, because what else are you going to do with them? Yeah, it's expensive. I agree. And you got to put a lot of them into a single one, but, you know. Insufficient materials. All right, what I run out of recon things. So you see what I'm saying? And like, so you can go ahead and rank your expertise to level 23 or 24, whatever it is right now, but you're not going to have enough resources for it to really matter. You know what I mean? Like, just like that. You know, you're going to run out of shit. All for 1% extra. You know, it's just like, yeah, don't break your back. Okay, so we need those expertise thing, right? SHD calibrations. So, I mean, I could pull from my watch, but if I do that, I would rather use my other character to do that. So let's pull some caches. Optimization caches, crafting, gear crafting. Just open some of those. See if I can get a little bit out of that. And then crush these things. Optimization caches will help, but SHD calibrations are what we really need. And yeah, you really got to prioritize your weapons, you know. And sort of also look at it from a perspective of which weapon, what and how are you using that weapon. If it's for everyday missions, for everyday things, you really don't need it at all, to be honest with you. I mean, I was playing with guys, and you guys saw, I was playing with guys with max 20 at the time. They were, you know, max 20 expertise, and I had like 7 expertise, and I would come out with a higher damage in the end and kills than they would, you know. Not bragging or anything, but it's just saying it's just not as consequential. Okay, how many are we gonna need here? How many levels I got? I want to finish this off, but I don't want to spend into this watch, because this watch, when I spend down this watch, it's a bitch, because then I have to go over to my other character to craft things. And so let me do that now. Let's go load up the SHD points. Yeah, it runs out of that SHD stuff fast, right, Brooks? You don't notice those exotic components, squad. Yeah, you wouldn't even notice. They happen passively. I don't notice either. They're just kind of down there in the bottom corner. Oh yeah, Kamerska, 1886 tanky build for solo play is one of my favorite ways to play. So you can do it with the Hunter's Fury, and a memento. And then like a Providence chest, usually a Providence because you want that extra headshot damage, so not Walker. And then run Sharpshooter. Tip of Spear also works with that setup. Or you can build it all from scratch. But Hunter's Fury is the easiest. You're almost unkillable. You can go all the way, fill it up all the way in armor, 1.8. Even without any game mode, you don't need reanimated to feel strong. That one. Oops, I don't need inventory. So let's see how many points I have over here right now. 2,000. So we'll fill this. I don't know how many I need, but that's why global events are really important. They're actually big for me, for my watches, you know, because we turn on, what do you call it, directives and whatever. And I don't always play with directives. It's usually I'm running a sniper build or a global event. That's when I run directives. And so that's why they matter to me, is because I'm running directives, and then the expertise is going across 4 characters. So all 4 characters are leveling up at the same exact time. All right. Yeah, remember when they gave us that cache of exotic components? How much was it? Was it 50? They need to do stuff like that more, just randomly. Why not? Daily login. Log in today, 5 free exotic components. Like, why not? What are they holding back for? You know? Why are they holding back? You guys ever wonder that? I mean, there's so much they could do to drive engagement. That's engagement. 5 exotic components. I mean, and it's not going to break the game where they're like, oh my God, if we do that, then they're not going to invest many hours into the game anymore. But like, no, just little bits. You know, 5 components, just 5. And watch the spike of logins that day, you know? Division week, you know what I mean? It's just little things like that. Man, there's so much they could do. Okay, let's go finish this beast. I'm gonna have to probably get another Ouroboros without expertise, though. I mean, as a content creator, nowadays you almost need 2. Because people are like, you're only doing good because you got level 20. People actually say that. You know, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have to have 2 weapons. One to show you that you don't have to have level 20, and one for me to actually enjoy being level 20. You know? Can we all just have fun? Oh, really? Oh my God, what am I out of now? Exotics now? Well, I made it to 20. Holy crap, it's expensive. We just ate through a lot of... I got 15 exotic components, I think. I mean, I got caches, so I can go... I mean, stars I gotta spend anyways. But level 20 is cool. Nice round number. Again, you're not gonna miss 1%. I'm looking for the new talents, you know. You know, they haven't given us an indication of when the next update is gonna, the next patch is gonna be. You know, I hope that we get one before season 3. What do you guys think? Possibility? I don't think so. I'm thinking about it. I doubt we get a patch before the end of the season. They're probably just focusing all on the new content right now. But if they do, then I'd be super happy though. So fingers crossed. When is Heartbreaker worth running over Strikers? That's a really good question. What do you guys say? What's your answer, community? When is Heartbreaker worth? It's a good question, really. What up, King Art? Morning. When is Heartbreaker worth running over Striker? I mean, some people prefer it all in. For one might be though, yeah, open world, but not necessarily though, right? Because you can counter any argument both ways, and so that's kind of what I'm thinking there. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right, Brad. But you could also say, well, but we all use Striker in open world too, so it's sort of like, I used to put it this way, and it's not necessarily fact. It's just one way to look at it. Like, if you think about it, I mean, if Striker's like really effective on the damage front, go all in on damage. But if you end up putting, the reality is that if you start putting on armor onto Striker builds, and I do that, right? I have builds with armor on Striker. But when you put armor on Striker builds, you're taking away and you start putting on things like bonus armor, bloodsucker, whatever, like a Striker with bloodsucker, for example, then you have taken away damage, and you're closing in on the difference between Striker and Heartbreaker. They're actually, DPS isn't that wide, But one good answer is like the strongest answer that I could give probably is it has to do with pulses. So if you're gonna run the Kingbreaker, for example, which I don't have right now, but the name TKB, if you're gonna run the Kingbreaker and you want that amp damage, then you might say, well, and then you're gonna run Technician, then you might say, well, I might as well just run Heartbreaker because I'm gonna have the free pulse and might as well get the amp damage in Spotter. Same thing with Spotter. Now, of course, I have Spotter Striker builds and I have Kingbreaker Striker builds. But there's more synergy with Heartbreaker and Kingbreaker and Spotter than there is with Striker and Kingbreaker and Spotter. But there's no wrong way. You know what I mean? There is no wrong way. There is no wrong answer there, except in Legendary. In Legendary, you could argue that Striker is a better Legendary build than Heartbreaker because Heartbreaker doesn't stack on certain tech, like tanks, and it's annoying. However, tanks are 2 out of a million. You know what I mean? They're not that many tanks. And you still have damage, you're just not stacking new damage while shooting at the tank. So, but you have Technician, usually, so you have additional damage against robotics to make up for that. So, you know what I mean? So there is no wrong answer. It does come down to personal preference. It really is. It's just a different option. All of them are like that. And that's why it's really hard. And I've been asked, okay? And I've been asked by the community, by several of you, hey, Tux, can you do one of those ranking videos for gear sets? And I can't. I just can't. I just don't see a way. And so I can do it on backpacks or a different element, like gear set backpacks or gear set chest pieces. But I can't do it from gear set to gear set because one isn't better than the other. They're different. Like, I don't think you can truly compare Striker with Heartbreaker because Striker doesn't do what Heartbreaker does. Heartbreaker is designed to give you bonus armor. Striker can't do that. You know, Striker is an all damage. That's all it does. You know what I mean? That's all it does. But Heartbreaker is designed to do damage and bonus armor and a skill element, which is the pulse. What people don't realize is that, so I do things in colors, right? So like the Memento is red, yellow, and blue. So is Heartbreaker. The red is the damage, the yellow is the pulse, the blue is the bonus armor. Hunter's Fury is red, yellow, blue also. Red being the amp damage, blue being the armor on kill, yellow being the disorientation. So I feel like they all, but not Striker. Striker is red on red on red. And then Umbra is red and yellow, right? So Umbra gives you better DPS with its crit damage, right? And it gives you better DPS with its elevated RPMs, but it also gives you heals. They call it armor regeneration, but it's really heals the way it is, right? And that's because it's not really related to your armor, but we translate it into armor regeneration to understand the numbers better. But you know, it's heals. So to me, it's red and yellow, not red and blue, but you can call it whatever you want. Red or blue, it doesn't really matter. And so in order for these things to be in balance, they have to be different. And you can't weigh them side by side per se. You can't really. You can personally, but from a game rating perspective or whatever, like you can't because like one would clearly be the better one. Like imagine if, let me put it to you this way. What if Umbra put out more damage than Striker? What if it was better DPS damage than Striker? Okay. Which would you choose, Umbra or Striker? It's a rhetorical question, but the most logical choice would be Umbra because it has heals also. What if Heartbreaker, and this actually happened, fact. What if Heartbreaker was stronger than Striker? Which would you choose? You would choose Heartbreaker. So, and that happened. So when they released Heartbreaker, it was like almost 2 times stronger than Striker. It was almost 2 times stronger. So everybody was running Heartbreaker, and I mean everybody. Speedrunners, normal people, not speedrunners, like everything. Everybody was running Heartbreaker. Everybody, because they made it so strong, and it had bonus armor and it has damage. So of course you're gonna choose Heartbreaker over Striker because you also get the bonus armor. So in order to get the bonus armor, they have to pull something away from it so that it's not the god of all builds. And that is, they're going to pull away some of the DPS. So it's just under Striker's DPS. So the way I rank them when it comes to damage, it goes Striker, Heartbreaker, Umbra, Ongoing Directive, Negotiators. Or Negotiators and then Ongoing Directive. But those are kind of teamy builds, right? But from a DPS perspective, that's sort of the order that they go in. And so they have to, because Heartbreaker does not give any defense whatsoever. And that's its negative. Right? And so, and all of them can be used in any content, really, you know? And some of them are easier and some of them are harder because of their mechanics. And so when it comes to so you can rank things. So I can rank things like on a subject. I can do that. So I can say Tux. So if you said Tux, what is the best build overall? What is the best gear set overall? I would say there isn't one. You know, and then, but Striker is most used, but that's an influence on the community. I'm not sure, you know what I mean? So I think because, you know, that's all people do is create Striker builds and then post videos just on Striker builds. That's going to leak out into the community. You know what I mean? That's going to leak into the community. And so when somebody says, oh, if you're not running Strikers, you're stupid, then that's going to leak into the community. You know, because now you got all their little minions going out there calling people stupid for not running Strikers, and then people feel bad for not running Strikers. They start running Strikers. You know what I mean? So because if I don't, I'm stupid. So you know what I mean? All that's going on. So there's different reasons why Striker is the meta, not just because it puts out the highest damage. Because if we've learned anything in this game, it's that it's not always about damage. A Hunter's Fury is an amazing one because damage, defense, right? And staggering and all the other stuff. So that well-roundedness of a build really adds to a great playthrough, or whatever you want to call it, a great gameplay, a good time, and effective, right? So it's not always, I mean, like, Hunter's Fury, the fact that it staggers enemies is a huge reason why people are successful with it, because they can kill 5 enemies and stagger them back to back to back, so nobody's shooting at you. Good defense is a good offense. Right? And you hear it in the reverse too. Both are true. A good offense is a good defense. It's, of course, yeah. I could say the opposite. Good defense is a good offense. You know, so... But if you were to say, Tux, what is the best for a new player... I can rank them that way. I can, and maybe I should, because some have a mechanic that makes it more difficult for new players to use. Like on one hand, Umbra is really good for new players because it teaches them to go in and out of cover. On the other hand, it's hard for new players because they have to think about being in and out of cover. It's one more thing to think about. And then they look down because they didn't spend enough time in cover. Then they don't have enough offense, and they're running around playing without the damage that they need to be effective. So it can be a downside and an upside. But when I think of a new player, I think the less that they have to think about when they're out there fighting, the better. And so that gives that. So for me, I would recommend Heartbreaker over Striker for new players, because new players are looking for that nice, comfortable balance between offensive defense, and Heartbreaker has it all built in. You know, whether you're playing for cover or not, it's already there. So it's already balanced. You don't have to rebalance it, you know? And so, I mean, so if 1.1 is your magic number, you put 2 armor cores there and you got the bonus armor to go with it, whatever. And then it goes along with the philosophy that I recommend, which is like, hey, armor is worthless in this game unless you have bonus armor, and Heartbreaker has bonus armor and damage. So, you know what I mean? It's really easy. It's sort of a paint by numbers. You don't have to think about anything. It works in and out of cover. And it's great. You know, and where Striker, a lot of people can suffer with Striker. It's not that easy. You got no defense in there. And, you know, all these experienced players are saying, no, the only build you need is an all red Striker build. And that's bullshit, because it's just so many people that can't play and don't want to play and don't enjoy playing an all red Striker build, you know? In heroic content, you can, but why would you? You know what I mean? They're not that hard to kill. You don't need that much damage. You're overpowered, you know? Even in a group scenario. So it's sort of like, you know, you don't need that much damage unless you're trying to break a world record or something, you know? It's just like, it's pointless, you know? Now, in the incursions, it's different. Why? Because you got a team setup and a strategy designed around damage and heals. Damage and heals. It's one giant Umbra build, right? 3 reds and a yellow. One giant Umbra build. So it's, you know, and so in team scenarios, it's different because there's a team strategy. You guys are supporting each other. You know, so you can run an all red build in a team strategy because you got a healer right next to you supplying your heals. So you don't need to run your own heals. Or your team strategy would be like, hey, let's just all be independently self-sufficient on our heals. And so everybody run, you know, the memento in a team scenario. That's perfectly fine. Because you're all going to have full mementos eventually, aren't you? Probably by the second control point. And if not, then you probably know who's the better player, right? The guy with all the mementos. He's probably the better player because he's better at getting kills. He knows where to be and who to shoot first. And, you know, he knows how to stack his trophies better. You know, and so that's all the memento is. It's perfectly fine in group. It's actually a way to tell who's the better player, you know? And we run legendaries, 4-man legendaries. Everybody run mementos. We've done it a bazillion times. It works out fine. 17-minute clears, as a matter of fact. That's not even speed running. That's casual Joes. You know what I mean? So it's just like, my point is like, some things are easier for newer players because there's less they have to think about. That's my point. And that's what makes Heartbreaker so good, and Striker. It's just that with Striker, it's so one-sided and it's sort of unnecessary, which is why I don't really recommend it for general gameplay to a new player. However, I say it's essential for you to have the build. It's important to have the build. But if you're going to ask me straight up what's the best build for a new player, I would say Heartbreaker. Perfect for 8-man groups in Legendary. In Countdown. It works in Legendary and works in open world, works in heroic, it works solo, works in group. You're self-sufficient. So here's a good example. So what if you're a new player and you go into a Legendary mission, okay, and there's no healer in there, and you walked in there with an all-red build. An all-red, you know what I mean? An all-red Striker build. And you're a new player. You might go down a lot. And that could be annoying for other players who are self-sufficient. You know what I mean? They're all running. Maybe you got a guy in there with a memento. You got another guy in there with something else, whatever. You know what I mean? And so there's nothing wrong with dying. But if you're unnecessarily overpowered, that leads you into dying a lot. You know, which for some people, that's maybe it's a glass cannon build. So they put on glass cannon so that they can have the highest damage. But then they're on the floor more than they need to be. They take people out of the game, right? Because somebody has got to go and pick them up now, and it gets irritating. I don't know. The problem is that the point is that there's no real right answer, but there is a trending build, you know, and it has been for at least, what do you guys say, like 6 months, 9 months, 6 months? I don't know. The Striker gear, right? So maybe even a little bit longer. At least since they nerfed Heartbreaker. So it's been probably since season 10. Striker's been the meta. And I don't mean, and I'm not using the meta as saying it's the most effective. I'm saying meta as in it's trendy and it's trendy, you know? And I like Striker. There's nothing wrong with Striker. I like it. But the real problem is this. It's not Striker. It's our lack of options. They keep giving us gear sets, and some of them are just kind of really situational. Like, I really like Ortiz, but I'm only going to run it in Legendary, and probably not even every Legendary. You know, just certain ones. And only when I want to take that role. And so, because Striker is the only real DPS build out there that's pure DPS, it's going to be the one that you see a lot. I mean, we've all given up on this standard meta, the old school one. You know, Contractor's Gloves and Fox's Prayer. I mean, nobody runs that build anymore when you have Striker. That also gives you RPMs and weapon handling. I mean, yeah, the old one doesn't stack, and it's still effective, but you know, Striker is just, I guess, more fun and easier to build. Oh, they're all easy, but the reality is Striker is persistent because we don't have we don't have enough gear. in that department. And there's so much in this game that half of this game is damage, and then half of this game is everything else. I mean, and that's consistent with what I've always been telling you, right? So it's like, it's that survivability pie. What's the biggest slice? Okay, situational awareness. What's the second biggest slice of that pie? It's time to kill. That's damage related. And so and then from there, it's bonus armor. And from there, it's shields and deterrence and stuff like that, right? So it's like, you know, if that's going to be the case, if the second largest slice to your survivability is damage, then Striker is always going to be at the top, one of the most used gears sets in the game. And that's annoying because it's not Striker's fault. It's not the game's fault. It's the lack of other options. And then some of that is education, you know? So the problem is that there's somebody out there saying that if you're not using Striker, you're doing it wrong. And that's not true. Heartbreaker is really good. And I've already done these videos, so I don't really feel like doing it again because they're a lot of work. But I've actually done side-by-sides between Umbra, Heartbreaker, and Striker, and then the traditional meta to show you that, yeah, in the testing range, Striker wins all the time. But in game, if you look at the time to kill, so I filmed the time to kill in the testing range and out of the testing range in Legendary and Heroic, and you could see that they're milliseconds away. As a matter of fact, Umbra turned out to be the fastest time to clear when they all played the same content the same way. Umbra ended up being the fastest because it had the heals and the damage. And so so even though Striker's faster overall, but because it doesn't have self-sustaining heals, it causes you to sometimes have to like fall back, right? Fall into cover, throw on a med kit, or wait for your heals to kick in, or blind fire a little bit more from time to time. And because of that, or you go down, and because of that, it's going to lead to a longer time to clear. And this was measured over 3 control points and 1 legendary checkpoint. And so it was all timed and filmed. But the truth of it all was, although one was faster, it was only by seconds. And who gives a shit, right? Like when it comes down to that, it was like by 20 seconds, you know? So averaging 3 control. So I fought 3 control points 3 times, and then 1 legendary checkpoint 3 times with each build, and then took the average time to clear. And so the difference was seconds. It was like a difference of 20 seconds. And who really cares, right? Who cares? And so none of them win. The point is they were all the same, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Because if one was truly better, then the game would be broken. The devs would have done a bad job, and everybody would be running the same build. Now, it's kind of broken because everybody, again, going back to the education thing, everybody is convinced that Striker is the best gear set. And it is in some situations, but not overall. Not overall at all. And you can argue that it is for you. But I don't think you could argue it is for just everybody, because when you break it down to a science, however you want to break it down, you know, and for me, it's time. The ultimate metric for me is time to clear, which is a time to kill is a component of time to clear. Survivability is a component of time to clear, because if you're dead, your time to clear is longer because you got to have somebody pick you up, right? Or you got to restart the mission and you lose time. So, and if your time to kill is slow, it's going to take you longer to clear. And if your time to kill is slow, you're probably going to be dead too. So all these things go into time to clear. The ultimate metric for me is time to clear. Time. And maybe you have to do your own study, but I did my own study and I put it out there for everybody to see. I did it live, and then I broke it down in an on-demand video later. So and for me, they all broke even. And so it was like, yeah, I'm surprised and I'm not good. It's good because you can't have Heartbreaker being better than Striker, and you can't have Striker being better than Umbra, and you can't have Umbra, you know, just those are all the 3 DPS builds, and so that's the only reason why I'm kind of bringing them in the equation. So, but the reality is they all offer something different, you know, but at the end they led to the same time to clear. And the real point was this was kind of a big eye opener for me, and sort of where I settled in on something, which is how is that possible? How is it possible that in the testing range, Striker is, you know, hitting, you know, 1 or 2 million DPS better than Heartbreaker, and then, but out in the field, so in the range, its DPS is about 2 million better, and then, but on the field, it's tying with Umbra, who's even further behind Heartbreaker. So Umbra is like, you know, about 4 million difference in DPS, right? Give or take, I can't remember exactly, but it's something like that. 4 million DPS behind Striker, but Umbra had a faster time to clear. How? Well, it's because what I finally settled in on was that any 2 differences between builds is overridden by the user. That's the constant. The user is the constant. So you're going to override the difference between any 2 builds. Because what did I say? Situational awareness is the biggest piece of the survivability pie. The biggest piece of fastest time to clear is the situational awareness, and then it's time to kill, right? So the user is the situational awareness part. The user is. So it's really my skills, in other words, was overriding the difference in damage between Striker and Heartbreaker, between Striker and Umbra, between Heartbreaker and Umbra, between Heartbreaker and the meta. My skill was overriding the damage differences down to seconds, to the point where it's like, you know, statistical relevance was getting in the way, you know, where it was basically saying because of these certain variables that are just uncontrollable in the game, whatever difference in time there is so small that you can chalk it up to randomness. You know, and so it's just like they're all the same, and that's good. That's what you want. You know, that's what you want. But on the other end, I believe people will probably educate you saying that, and they got valid points, and it's not invalid, but they'll say that Striker's the best gear in the game because it's got the highest damage, and that's all you need in this game. Well, if that's all you need in this game, then how come I can run Umbra and do the same thing I did with Striker? You know what I mean? In this well-rounded test between open world content, which I consider to be pretty difficult because of the array of randomness to it, and then the legendary content as well, you know? Now, if you start bringing situations into it, then you're nichifying, if that's even a word. It's probably not. I made it up. Nichifying the scenario. So if you say, oh, yeah, well, in the incursion, well, okay, now you're going into the incursion. Those are raids. That's 1%er. You're in the 1%er world, okay? So now you're talking that. That's different. You know, we're talking about general gameplay, like you across all the content, you know? That the majority of the the player that base that we're even talking to would be. But if you're talking about speedrunners and raids and one shot, you know, Regulus builds, then yeah, well, we shouldn't even be having this conversation because you're off the map. You know what I mean? So, but the reality is, just look at it from a developer perspective. There can't be an outlier. There can't be. If it is, then they're gonna hammer that nail that sticks out. They're gonna level it with the planks because it can't. And so that's interesting when you put it, I mean, it makes it easier to chew on when you look at it from a developer perspective, I think, right? Well, like Striker can't be the ultimates that much outweigh everything else, because if it did, then the devs would come through and nerf it. We know their habits. They nerf anything that's overpowered, right? So how can Striker be out there? And so, well, it depends on how you look at it, right? And so, like, on paper, it's got all this damage, but it also is missing a lot of other things too. And when you test it up, against these other builds, like you as the player put on a comparable Heartbreaker and a comparable Umbra, you'll find that you pretty much perform the same within a margin of error. So, you know, that's the way it's really measured, not on a piece of paper that tells you what the damage is. It's how it performs, how you perform with it, how the player base performs with it. And it does help you be, and it does make you a successful striker. But so does Umbra and Heartbreaker. So, you know what I mean? And some do better at this content, and some do better at that content. Some does better, you know, in a team, and some does better in solo. And that's good. You want different tools for different jobs. And so I think the devs have done a really good job of keeping things balanced. But now we see a couple of outliers, and we're all kind of wondering why they're here, like Ouroboros. Why is Ouroboros here? Why is it here? Okay, it's not alone. So it's not alone. So St. Elmo's, why is St. Elmo's here? Why isn't it nerfed? Is it as strong as we think it is, really? What about the Regulus? So Regulus was a game changer long time ago. I mean, the Regulus is probably the most overpowered weapon in the game. It's also used in speedrunning. I mean, it's actually defined speedrunning in the raids and legendaries and stuff like that. When this gun came out, I mean, all sorts of things went crazy, right? People are one-shotting Iron Horse bosses with it. You know what I mean? One-shotting incursion bosses, one-shotting legendary bosses with it. I mean, this thing is crazy. Blowing up whole groups of enemies and... But why is it allowed to exist if it can do all those crazy things? Well, for one, it only has 6 shots. So you can do a lot of damage with those 6 shots. Number 2 is because it's locked behind a raid. Is that why the Ouroboros is allowed to exist? Because it's locked behind an incursion? I don't know. I don't have the answer. It's just a question. I mean, but... Or is it as strong as we think it is? I mean... And I would say no. Is it amazing? Is it super strong? Absolutely. But it's 15 meters. It's the tactical. Like, I said this in the video and you've heard me say it 100 times, so I don't want to beat it to a bone here. But like, go run the tactical vector, put on killer. Okay. The regular, standard, non-exotic tactical vector, put on your best mods, run killer. Yes, it has a smaller mag, but you're going to be, the outcome will be exactly the same. You're going to demolish the control point, smash it. Your reloads are going to be fast. You know what I mean? So fast, it doesn't really matter in the outcome that Ouroboros has a bigger mag, it has a higher RPM, and has a faster reload. However, on paper, those things do matter. And in some scenarios they do also, which is niche, and the devs are okay with that. And so those niche situations are like the incursion. You know what I mean? Like when you're like, it was really good against these big fat targets that are standing in front of your face. You know, the bosses and stuff like that. It's like really good there. And so, but in the open world, when I'm running around, I'm telling you, the tactical vector, I know on paper is not as strong as the Ouroboros, but it doesn't matter. I still clear the content in 3 minutes. I still killed everybody. I still survived. I still ran the same amount of bonus armor. I still ran the same amount of crits. Nothing changed. Less reloads with the Ouroboros, same outcome with the Ouroboros. Do you understand? Less reloads, same outcome. They perform differently as a weapon, but you perform the same. Now, it does, it does open up some different build options, which whatever, but that's not, the devs don't really care about that, right? And so I think that's why it's allowed to exist. Compare it to its non-exotic version. But the reason why people are so hyped up about it is because, for one, some people go and live by what they see on paper, right? Numbers don't lie. And so they're saying, well, you know, because the numbers say it's better than the tactical vector, you know, I'm in shock and awe over this gun, you know? And so it's just like, but